I've been going to SPPC for as long as I can remember, basically my entire life. Currently, I attend Johnson Wales University for culinary school, and today I'm going to show you how to make some bomb street tacos. Here's some of the ingredients you'll need. 1 large onion, some tomatillos, limes, cilantro, avocados, some sour cream, street taco tortillas, some spices, and if you want to get extra spicy, 1 habanero pepper, and delicious, delicious flat meat. Alright, so the first step is going to be making the salsa, and you will need a blender for this, but if you have a food processor that will work too, or if you have a little immersion blender, you could all just stick it in one pot and just blend it up if you want to. So the first thing we're going to do is take the tomatillos that I've peeled and rinsed, and we're going to chop those guys up. You don't have to chop them up too much because they're going to get blended up, but just to break them down into smaller pieces to go into a blender. Alright, next we're going to dice up half this onion. And then the next thing we're going to do is zest and juice 2 limes. We're going to take some cilantro. We're going to take all of the stems, but then leave a little bit of the top part for some garnish at the end. But then all of this is going to go into the salsa. Next, we're going to add all of our ingredients to our blender. So we'll add our tomatillos, our onions, cilantro, lime juice, and all that good lime zest. And then optional, if you want to make it a little bit spicier, you can take a habanero pepper, cut that bad boy open, just take a little bit of it, cut the pith and the seeds out of the middle, just a little bit. And then boom, that's good enough. Alright, and then for blending it, you're going to want to start on a low setting and then work your way up to high. But you don't want to go too much because it gets pretty liquidy pretty quick. But then that's it. Alright, and once you're done blending it, just give it a little taste. And then see if you need to add a little bit of salt. I do, just a little pinch or 2. And then some fresh ground pepper. Just a little bit, just a little salt and pepper to round everything together. A little small bowl. And boom, there you go. Alright, next we're going to be making the avocado crema. For this, you'll be needing the sour cream and the avocados and the limes. So you're going to start by cutting up your avocados, throw them in the bowl. Step is just to mash it all up. I like using a big old fork for this job. And then you're going to add your limes. Lime juice. Because this is getting a little bit thinner and I don't want to splash it exactly like I just did. Alright, and the next step is going to be cooking our meat. For cooking, I like to use this big old flat top skillet thing. It has a little grill side, but I just like to use the flat top for this so you get a nice even browning across the whole meat. And this just covers 2 burners back here. So the first step is going to be seasoning it. So I'm just going to do salt and pepper and then some garlic powder afterwards. Don't be too afraid to get liberal with the seasoning on this because a lot of this actually will fall off in the pan whenever it's grilling up in there. So feel free to go crazy, like I did. Pepper. Alright, so then you're going to pop it over to the stove, put it on high heat to start off with, and you're going to pull it down to medium high once you have the meat on. A decent amount of oil on there, and then go ahead and toss the meat on. Alright, and then once you see a little bit of brown start to build up along the sides, you can use your first flip. Alright, so then just cook them for about 10 to 15 minutes, flipping every once in a while until you get to your desired temperature. Alright, and then the next step is just to slice it up. Last step is to heat up your tortillas. My favorite way to do it is over the open flame, just like this. Just toss it on there like that. Then grab your tongs, and then every once in a while, just flip it. Then once you get some brown marks around the edges like that, you know that's good. So let's plate these bad boys up. For street tacos, I always like to go two tortillas layered. So I'm gonna set up just 3 on this plate right here. Alright, so then we're gonna go steak. Just get a couple slices down, not too much, don't overload it, because nothing's worse than an overloaded taco, because then it's just really hard to eat. All these bad boys in there. Alright, and then we're going to come in here with our salsa, and I like to use a slotted spoon so you can lift it up and you can let some of the juice drain out of it so you don't just get your tacos all wet. So then spoon some of the salsa on top of the steak. And then we'll come in with our crema. Get a little dollop on top. And finally, finish with chopped cilantro on top. And the last step Enjoy!